All right, guys, I think it's been 50 minutes, so I think we can talk about input displays now and all the drama surrounding input displays now. So what's the general consensus here, guys? Are input displays good or bad? So recently, the reason why I bring it up is because recently input display has been in the spotlight due to a new PB that Akori got in 120. Akori got a 135.30, which is 2 seconds behind world record, right? What makes his run special, other than the fact that it's literally 2 seconds behind world record, is that he had an input display that showed him the correct values for a trick, right? What does that mean? Basically, like, when I move my stick, you can see that there's numbers, right? So when I move my stick, there's numbers, and this corresponds to where it is or where you're pushing it, right? Like up or U just means I'm pushing up, right? Left means I'm pushing left. R means I'm pushing right? Some tricks require a very precise combination of these numbers, right? So something like this, where it's like 47, 74, something like that, right? And what this would actually just look like if I turn on comm, it's just something like this, right? Well, there is a level of precision you just cannot get without an input display. Like, for example, if I do an up left, it's 75, 78, right? But if I do it again, 74, 77, I do it again, 78, 74, 78, 72, 77, 71, 75. So like it changes a lot, right? And this happens pretty much like everywhere, where it's just gonna like change. So the only way to get some very precise inputs consistently is if you can see these numbers, right? If I wanted exactly 66 or like exactly 45 degrees, I would have to look at these numbers and do like that, where it's 71, 71. And that's exactly 45 degrees, right? Well, in Akori's PB, there's a carpetless setup that uses a specific combination of these numbers. It's a small range. And on stream, you can see that he has like kind of a compass-like thing where it shows him the angles and it shows him where to put his stick to get the trick, right? Now you can see like kind of how that would be a little controversial, because without that extra tool, there's like no way he would have been able to get this consistently, right? You could still get it, but it would be kind of luck-based, right? But if you have an input display that shows you the numbers, or in his case, just showed you where to put your stick, then it basically just makes it 100% consistent, right? So that's like the controversial thing, because it's literally a tool that's external to the game that you're using to be better at the game. Oh, you know, Akori is a good player, so he deserves that PB. You know, carpetless, that setup barely saves time, right? Like, him using input display probably saved him 1 second or something over doing a regular setup, right? But it really does raise the question of like, should we allow the use of an input display in future runs? If there's ever a setup that requires a very specific combination of angle values or stick values, like, we're cooked, right? Like, we're gonna have to decide whether or not to allow this. And I think right now is a good time to decide, but I don't know what's gonna like happen with input display. Just a lot of people are talking about it now, which I think is a good thing, because like I already talked about this a long time ago, and I knew it was gonna become like a major issue eventually. It's like having speed counter on completely trivializes ultimate escape. Basically, yeah, it's like that. It's like having you have extra information you wouldn't have access to otherwise, right? Like, because there's an argument to be said of like, oh, but you could just like look down at your stick and like maybe mark it somewhere, right? To like know the position where you should put the stick, right? Except that wouldn't be the same, because that's a position like on the stick. It's not the angle values themselves, because the problem here is the values themselves. Because you could have like something marked on your controller, but your values might be different every time. Another thing people are saying is like, it doesn't make sense to ban input displays because there's no way to enforce an input display ban, which they're right? That's like a valid thing to say. If we ban input displays in some way, there's pretty much no way we could enforce it, right? But I don't think that like should be a reason why we don't ban it, right? Because there's other things we can't enforce that we still ban, right? Such as macros, right? Like we can't enforce macros. Like we don't know if someone's using a macro. For example, like pressing A and then B, right? Get perfect rollouts every time. We don't know if someone has a macro to do that. Or maybe pressing A and Z, getting frame perfect ground pounds, right? Like we can't tell if someone's using a macro, but we still ban that. Also, another thing is like we can't tell if someone's using a repo cart, a reproduction cart, right? Reproduction carts are banned, but we can't tell if someone's using one. So I think it should still be like banned, even though we can't enforce it in some way. I say we ban it, but I think we should have more discussion before we come to a decision like that, because it is like a major thing. It's not something minor, you know? Like a lot of people use input displays, and not for malicious reasons, you know? Like they just use it because it looks cool, right? Being able to see the runner's inputs is cool, right? There's that guy where you modified the games like PLJ's mash. You just hold A. You can't tell unless you have a hand cam. That one retro video where he says that Mario's in danger of dying because cheating is super easy in the game. I hate that video. But yeah, something like that is true.